Howdy, Ags. Welcome to another episode of Texas Aggies United on TexAgs, sponsored by the 12th Man Foundation. Start your tradition of support and make an impact on Aggie student athletes by joining the 12th Man Foundation. We are excited to be sitting down today with Billy Lucci. No, I'm kidding. Sitting down today.
That was sick.
Sitting down today with Jace LaViolette, All-American. So excited to have you back. Just announced you'll be returning next season, but obviously this week has been pretty crazy for you guys. Kind of run us through what this process and this week has been like for you.
Yeah. I mean, it all starts that final game in Omaha, right? You kind of dream. You have a dream as a kid. You grow up, you watch these games, and you're like, dude, I want to be playing in this. Like, this is something I want to do as a kid. And to finally get to play in the game and then lose the game, probably the hardest day of, I think, this team's life. Honestly, I do think that there were a lot of guys in there that are like, dude, this is probably the hardest day of my life. You dream of it as a kid. You go through, you play baseball from, I mean, I've probably been playing since I was 3, 4, and you work your tail off all the way for that one moment, right? Yeah. You're playing the last game of the college baseball season. Mm-hmm. You've made it pretty much. Yeah. You haven't made it all the way, but you've made it to what you've been dreaming of. Mm-hmm. And then you lose, and it's just like, dang, this sucks. And then you come home. You expect it to be all good. And then I'd say my whole world just flipped right upside down. And, I mean, just like that. Like, in the snap of a finger, everything changed. And you're just sitting there like, what just happened? Like, 2 terrible days back to back. Yeah. But then after that, I mean, I fought my tail off to get Mike back here. The whole team wanted him back here. We knew who we wanted to play for. We knew the man that Mike is. I've said this many times. He's one of the best coaches. He is the best coach in the nation, but the thing that I love most about him is the man he is and the father that he is, and everybody sees it that's around him. Yeah. I mean, at that presser, you just saw up on the stage, I saw Varsity's horns off, you see him looking down at his kid to make sure she's okay. Like, I mean, in that moment, when everybody has their eyes on you, when everybody's looking at you, cheering you on, and you're like, oh, wait, how's my family doing first? I think that goes to show you of how he's going to be. It's going to be more of like, how are the boys doing? Are they okay? Are they mentally there? Are they physically there? How do their bodies feel? The coaching is going to take care of itself. He's unbelievable. And I feel like the support staff that he's brought in with him is top-notch. Some of the best coaches in the nation are coming here to support us and be in front of the 12th man. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. How you mentioned, that initial reaction. Once you guys started talking, and I know just from talking to y'all, it didn't take more than a day for the kind of regroup. And I know it was either Trev or President Welsh was talking about this. You guys regrouped really quickly. Yeah. And I remember we had a conversation, and you at one point you were going, man, this sounds like a long shot.
Yeah. I mean,
at what point did you start to, in your mind, Jace, be like, man, you know what? I think this could really happen.
Yeah. I called Trev one last time. I went to fish down in Louisiana with my family. Called him one last time before that. I said, hey, like, I'm sorry I've been bugging you so much. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, I know you are probably one of the most busy men on the planet right now, and I know you're trying your best to find the best coach that suits fit for this job. But I said, Mike Earley is the best coach in the nation. I promise you. You get this guy, you get every single person you want back here. And I think all the dominoes are starting to fall into place as to what I said. But I wholeheartedly believe that Mike Earley is and will be the best coach in college baseball for a long time coming. I'm stoked that he gets to say that this is his first head coaching job ever. And I don't want people to be scared as to being like, oh man, like this is his first head coaching job. I feel like that dude's been a head coach without being a head coach for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or probably ever since he stepped into college baseball. Yeah. People don't understand how much work that guy puts in he's there before any of us get to the field every day. And he's probably the last one to leave. Mm-hmm. And it's because he cares about us so much. I'd text him throughout the year and be like, hey, man, like, my swing feels off. Like, what's going on? He's like, I got you. I'll look at video. And he's looking at video. He's not looking at he's looking at videos for 2.5 hours. Yeah. Trying to figure out, like, what is going on? Like, what is different? What do I see? And it's small things that, to the eye, well, there's nothing there. But that dude knit and picks out things. Hey, what are we doing? Your crutches in here? Come on.
Come on, Al.
Come on.
Come on.
Sorry, guys.
It's brutal. I'm kidding. But he really is the best guy suited for this job. And that's that last call, Trev was like, all right, man, like, we're going to see what happens. We're going to try and get this done for y'all because we know how much it means, but we got to make sure that this is the best hire. Like, we've got to listen to him first. Like, it can't all come from the players because at the end of the day, I told him, I was like, man, like, I know that this is a business. I know that you have to make the right hire for not only the team, but also for yourself. Like, it's a business.
Yeah.
There's repercussions that come from if you don't make the right hire.
Right.
And I told him that, and he was like, I appreciate that. I appreciate you being honest. And I was like, dude, it's all I can give, man. Like, I want to stay here. This is my home. I want to be an Aggie for life. I don't want to leave this place.
Yeah.
I never did. I hope people know that. Sometimes you have to do things in life as in, I mean,
you have a
very,
career.
very minuscule.
Yeah.
Very minuscule in the grand scheme of life with some of us entering the portal. Like, at the end of the day, in 5 years, nobody probably would be talking about it. You know what I mean? And so it's very minuscule, but right now it feels like it's the biggest news ever, and it's the most important thing in your life, which it was. Right now, it was definitely the most important thing, but I wanted people to know, like, man, I never had any intentions of leaving this place. I never talked to a coach when I was in the portal because I was like, it's only fair that I give whoever gets hired the chance to talk to me and I hear them out. It's only fair.
Yeah.
And I pride myself on trying to be a great man other than who at the end of the day, who cares if you're a good baseball player? Like, obviously, it's cool. It's really nice to have the fan interactions and everything, but I'd rather people know me for being a good man and being truthful and not lying to people rather than them being like, oh, like, yeah, he was a pretty cool baseball player, but
home runs.
I'll be honest, he didn't really fit what the 12th man was about. He wasn't really that personable, or he was kind of a bad guy. Like, that's something I never want anybody to ever say about me. I'd rather it be like, he was a great baseball player, but he was an even better man.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
for sure. And I think you guys have a team full of dudes like that.
Yeah.
And it's why you're going to be remembered, and it's not just going to be for last week.
Right.
You know? And like you said, well, we talking out there, you actually don't want to be remembered for last week.
No, I'm going to be honest, man. Like, everybody was saying that we didn't get time to celebrate. We did. We celebrated as a team, and that was all we needed. Like, obviously, we could see the support. We could hear the support from the 12th man. We knew that they poured their heart and soul probably as much as we did this year, and to come into every game that they could possibly get to, trying to sell out the stadium every single time, and that's all we could ask for, and it was unbelievable. My favorite year of college baseball I've ever been a part of, and the best team I've ever been a part of to play for. But at the end of the day, like, what did we win? Not first loser? Who's happy about that? I wasn't. Obviously, it's a really cool thing to say, yeah, you were one of the final two teams to stand. You were one of the final two teams there. But we didn't win it.
Yeah.
What I mean, yeah, that you can celebrate you made it to the last, but what is there to really celebrate about? Like, it's an accomplishment. It's the farthest any team in Texas A&M baseball history has ever gone. So that there's a reason to celebrate right there, obviously.
There's plenty to be proud of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not saying we shouldn't celebrate this at all, and I'm not saying that, but I have a fire lit under my butt that I'm like, dude, I want to win this thing next year. I told Mike, I said, man, like, I don't ever want to feel that again. That is not a feeling I ever want to feel again. I want to be the last team standing, and that's it. Like, that, I have a fire lit under my butt right now that, yeah, there's time to celebrate, but I think the time to celebrate is after you win the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Shot and I were saying, just hang that picture up.
Yeah.
No kidding.
After, I mean, it was like, that's a beautiful picture.
I'm getting that picture. I'm gonna get that picture, print it out, put that in a little
TexAgs
in a thing. Like, I need to. It's unbelievable.
There is so much, I feel like, that goes into a sports season,
and
a lot of things that people don't recognize. I mean, you being one of the people who was fighting through injury, come that final game. But I think it's a really cool perspective for you to have, and obviously that's just one piece of the motivation moving into next year.
Right.
And then let alone that, you then have a head coach hire of someone who you guys have a lot of trust in. Because I think there's that piece, and we talked about it before. You guys were betrayed in a sense, and there was trust lost there. And then you had somebody now who's stepping in that you guys have so much of that trust for. So how does that play into also the motivation moving into this next year?
And I'm going to say this, I don't want anybody to hate me for saying this, but guys, like, it's time we move on.
Yeah.
It's time to put it behind us. We've got coaches here that are going to stay here for a very long time and that are going to be very good. And at the end of the day, I know it sucks, but he's got a life too. He said it, and he treated me amazing while I was here. I'm never going to bash him because that just goes against everything I said. I want to be a good man, and that goes against everything I said. There's no reason to bash him. He has a life. He has a family. He has stuff that he wants to pursue in the game of baseball, And at the end of the day, it sucks. I know he went somewhere that nobody wanted him to go. But at the end of the day, it's time to put it past us and be like, okay, like, you had a great 3 years here. You did stuff that has never happened here before, so thank you.
Y'all all laid a foundation together.
Absolutely.
Like, there's a point where it comes like, yeah, you could say thank you, but you can still be mad. I'm not saying I'm sitting up here and I'm not mad at him. Of course I'm mad at him. That sucks. It hurts. But at the same time, man, you've got to realize, like, it's his life too. It all sucks for all of us, but if the players aren't that mad and we're okay with it now and we've put it behind us, it's time for everybody else too, because there's no reason, nobody in life should ever have to go through what that man went through. Like, I know it sucks, but I've seen some things said about him that it's not okay. I love our fans. I love how much this means to him, but he's a person too. And some people go through things in life that they have to change, and it sucks for them. I bet this was so tough on him too, but he's not allowed to say it.
Yeah.
Because then it's just like, why'd you do it?
Yeah.
And I know it was tough on him too. So, like, at the end of the day, it's time to put it behind us and just be like, okay, like, we can reflect on the great years he had here too.
Yeah, I don't think any of that changes.
Right.
And I think for you to sit here and say that, I was about to ask you.
Very mature.
Well, I was about
Very
to ask
wise and
you
mature.
about, it kind of ties in, I'll ask you in a second, about the conversations with General Welsh and Trev Alberts as a, you just finished your second year of college baseball. And I want to talk to you about that. But the maturity right there in what you said, and we kind of said the same thing. I said the same thing yesterday. When Mike Earley gets hired, and I think there's a week. Now, some people cross lines. I mean, I've seen stuff too. It's off. We delete stuff off the site every day. And that's every fan base. I saw that.
Right, I agree. Like, it's going to happen because people are so invested in this, which is awesome to even say.
Yeah.
I think it would suck more if people weren't as invested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially this season, people were
I
even
agree.
more.
And I just don't think it'd be fair to y'all, and especially Coach Early. So as of like yesterday, it was like, let's put a bow on this.
And tie it up and put it away forever.
That.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it happens.
And look, we might. There's a world where who the hell knows what happens next year.
Exactly.
It might be, and nobody's ready for that mentally right now. I mean, it's going to happen in conference, but I'm saying Mike Earley and Jim Schlossnagle might be staring across the, from one dugout to the other in Omaha next year. We don't know. It's baseball. So what I was going to ask you too had to do with that. Like, you went through all this. And for you to sit here and say something like that and kind of be, I think, the first one to really verbalize it where I think people will listen.
Yeah.
But also your conversations, you're talking to your athletic director as still a sophomore at A&M.
Yeah.
You can make a comment like that and seem really old and mature, but are you 21 yet?
No.
Okay, that's interesting.
19?
20.
20.
So 20-year-old, like, she's old at 23, right?
Yeah,
right.
But to sit there and have the kind of conversations you did with an athletic director at Texas A&M, with the president of a university in the state, and what does it say? What were your experiences like just getting to know both of those people? And you guys seem to like be on the very same level, and that was why you were able to have productive conversations.
Right.
Talk about what that was like for you.
And I give all credit to Coach Early. I give credit to Mr. Trev and General Welsh as to why I feel the way I do and how I'm able to come up here and say what I just said, because Trev told me many times, he goes, man, I'm never going to bash that guy. That's not my business. Like, that is not who I am either. And he was like, I was like, yeah, like, there's no reason for that. And Mike said the same thing yesterday. He's like, guys, it's past us. It's time we move on. I'm never going to sit up here and bash that guy. He did things for me in my life that helped me out a lot. And I feel the same way. And I think everybody does. General Welsh the same. Not one of them has ever said anything bad about Jim. Ever. And I think that's where I'm at too. Like, and I think that's where the team's at. There is no reason to sit up here and bash a guy for making a life decision.
Yeah. I mean,
you have to let it go.
So while you're talking to him, to them, how does it feel though, as an athlete, just to know you're being heard?
Yeah, I said, I was like, dude, I've had conversations with people at this university that come in here. I never, even last year at the end of it all, I had met Mr. Trev a few times.
Yeah.
Said, hey, like, how you doing?
Yeah.
Jace LaViolette, nice to meet you. And that was about it. It was, and then
that's their normal
exactly
AD
it's what happens. And then as you all this happens, I start calling him, and like we're just talking like two normal people. And I was like, this is pretty cool. Like and he was genuinely listening, which is, I have so much respect for him and Mr. General Welsh, like genuinely sitting there trying to listen and hear me out to try and make a decision, which was all I could ask.
Yeah.
And I told him that. I was like, you have given me more than enough room to speak my mind. And I told him the last one, I was like, I'm done calling you. Like, I've spoke everything that I can into existence. I think I've tried my hardest to push for everything I can. And so at this point, like, whatever decision you make, I agree with you because I think you know what's best for this university too.
Now, as we just have the introductory presser, you had your announcement today. Gavin with his announcement, y'all were kind of within the hour. That was a hell of an hour.
That was a great hour.
For Aggie baseball, you two announcing, and then the press conference for Coach Earley, which, by the way, was I haven't been to one with more people.
That was unbelievable. I walked in and I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally like head football coaches.
Yeah.
You ripped Jimbo Fisher away from Florida State, a national championship coach. This was more well attended than any I've seen.
It was unbelievable.
It was.
I texted Mike after. I was like, dude, I'm so proud of you. Like, that was one of the core things I've ever been to be able to be a part of. And I'm just so proud, like, happy for you and your family. Like, this is going to be a lot of fun. Let's go get it done now.
Did you eat any of that cake?
No.
Prager gives me a piece.
Billy tried to bring a
this
whole
big, like
plate.
the size of a brick, and he just hands it to you.
Well, dude, I mean, you saw how much cake there was?
And yeah, it was a stadium.
That was pretty cool.
It was the whole.
I
had never
cool.
seen a cake like that. That was actually really cool.
That's
Whoever
really
made that
cool.
cake, shout out to y'all.
That was
a pretty cool cake.
Billy
was
came
really
back
cool.
here with like 3
I had a
pieces
brick of
stacked
cake,
on
so
top.
Have you
you
seen
know.
the picture? It's Bluebell.
No.
Yeah.
It was
that's
pretty
it.
sweet.
Yeah, I need to see it.
It was pretty sweet.
It was really cool.
I was here.
But he hands it to me, and anybody that's talking to me, I'm trying to shake hands.
Dude,
Like
that's
little
how I
kids with
felt.
a picture,
I had a
and I'm
piece
like-
in my hand, and it was huge too. And they're like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me hide this behind your back real quick."
There's a
And
lot of pictures going around there.
It was hilarious,
Like,
yeah.
with a big piece of cake. I look like a total fat kid. But back to this. With you guys doing that, like, it's not only about, there's a couple more of your guys in the portal that I know you guys are working on, and some of them are probably already, on board, some work to do. Also, though, Jace, we've been so focused on you, Gav, and Sorrell, like some of these bigger name guys, Lampkin, like, I'm sure I'm leaving people out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's a portal that works both ways too. So are you, have you already put your recruiting hat on? Is it like full speed ahead now?
Yeah, I can't really say what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
As a,
We don't need specific.
yeah, but I'm trying to get people here. I'm trying to do everything in my power. I feel like that's something that comes with the territory that what today's game is, right? I feel like you try and give your best word, and that's something that I tried to do in that video that I posted on Instagram. I tried at the end. I was like, I wholeheartedly believe Mike Earley is the best coach in the nation, and there's nowhere I'd rather be than play under him. Mm-hmm. And I wanted people to see that and be like, you know what, like, let's give this a shot. Let's go talk to him and let's figure out what he's really about. And then they're going to talk to him and be like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't lying. So, yeah, there's always things throughout the game, throughout the year. I feel terrible, but had to do it. That Twitter post that I posted and said, like, there's nowhere you would rather, or you wouldn't want to be anywhere else but here if you're in the portal.
Yeah.
I felt bad for having to take that down, but sometimes you have to do things in life, as I said. But I'm always trying to throw out some things to get people here and get people to understand what it's like to play Texas A&M baseball and be at the best institution in the nation. I always want people to understand, like, there's no better place.
You and I talked about it the other day. And full disclosure, like, we sat down and talked about Coach Earley. Mm-hmm. Like, he was at, do you think it can happen? I said, look, this is kind of how it would have to go. I've covered and followed these coaches' searches forever. And this is how, I was like, what I say, this is the path that he'll get it. I'm not saying he will. This is the path that would happen. And we were fortunate enough to see it
all
kind of come to fruition. Yeah. So,
dude, I cried when I heard he got the job.
Did you really?
Dude, I mean, like,
yeah, I believe.
I don't think people understand how much this guy means to us and me. Like, it's real. Like, I think people are about to see the most fire out of a baseball team that I think they've ever seen, and also a team that is about to have the most fun on the field that they have ever seen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This coaching staff that we have here is all about getting the work that you need to get done, but once it comes game time, they understand. They understand. Mike's played at some of the highest levels. Fox has played at some of the highest. Caleb, you name them.
Yeah,
they've all done it. They've been through this, and they understand once it's game time, let's go play. Let's go have fun. Play loose. That's when you play your best. You don't want to play scared. You don't want to play tight. You don't want to play as if, oh, dude, if I don't get this done, like, once you have that in your mind, it's over.
Yeah.
So they want us to play as like, all right, let's act like you're the best. Like, let's go have fun and act like you're the best, and you might play like you're the best, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what it all comes down to, and that was Mike's biggest point to me. He was like, man, like, we're going to have a lot of fun this year, but we're going to get a lot of things done. And I said, oh, I know. It's going to be fun. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah. It is going to be fun. We're excited. We're excited for you. I know that, and we've all tried to say, like, you, guys like you, Prager, Gabby, all of y'all, like, the portal is a necessary evil in 2024. Like, you have to. There's
People think when you enter, you're not coming back.
Well,
That's not how it goes.
Yeah, and they need to figure out, and you're an athlete too, they need to figure out how to better time all this stuff because there are coaching changes in baseball. And there are teams that run all the way through Omaha. And if there's no coaching change, you never even think about it.
Ever.
But what about the guy on your team that's not playing but is a situational guy for you guys, a role player, utility? So he can't go in the portal before Omaha, and then we're there 2 weeks. And this dude who probably looks at y'all's roster and goes, man, I'm not even going to play next year. I need to transfer. His window's that big.
Right.
So it needs to be fixed, but it's a necessary evil. Yeah. We all knew what you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
I think every Aggie understood
I felt horrible,
that.
Dude. Like
y'all did a good job, Jace.
I know, but like even getting in the port, like it sucks, like because you're like, I knew I never wanted to leave, but even like to have people think like, damn, like I thought this guy was here forever, and to them question that, it sucked because it's like, dude, like.
But everyone's gonna talk.
Yeah. No, I agree, and so I didn't look into it too hard because I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be here, so I was like, I mean, they'll understand someday, and I think people are gonna understand, especially after this. Yeah. But I think everything's turned out exactly the way we wanted it, and honestly, maybe even better.
Yeah.
That's well said.
Let's talk about someone else too before we end, because you can understand this. I can understand this. People even who didn't
play sports
can get it though. Just with the community of people, but especially an athletic community and within your team, you're playing for your coaches, yes, but you're playing for every single person next to you. And for you guys, y'all are truly brothers.
Yeah.
Like you can see the brotherhood, and especially this last year. But let's talk about Braden Montgomery, who his character, I think, showed out far beyond what we have seen after his injury. And that was something that
Yeah, I don't think he
changed.
He was I don't think people got to see the true Beaumont whenever he was playing, just because of how much he wanted to be great and how much he prepared before the games and how much he did things before the games that didn't necessarily allow him to show maybe what me, Shot, and all, like the people who kind of are more kind of just outgoing. Like I try and play loose all the time and have as much fun as I can while playing, because I know that this game could come to an end tomorrow for me.
Yeah.
I know this isn't a given, and I'm very blessed to have that perspective on this game. But he wants to. All of us want to be great, but that guy, I mean, he'd sit in the dugout before the game and literally just be eyes closed, just breathing through it, and he was just locking. He was truly just locking in. He talked about it. He was like, all right, man, like I've got 5 at-bats today. I want 5 homers. I was like, all right, go have fun. And I wouldn't really talk to him much during the game because I was like, he's so locked in. I'll leave you be. I think he had one of the best years Aggie baseball's ever seen. It was unbelievable to watch that kid play. I wish he could come back for another year. I think that'd be so much fun. But he's going to go chase his dream, and nobody can ever hate him for that. It's going to be so much fun to watch that kid grow up and watch that kid do great things. He'll probably be in the league here in a few years, and I'm excited to watch him do it all.
Never know. Maybe y'all be teammates.
Hey, that'd be pretty cool, yeah.
I think it's awesome that he came here in an incomplete season, and it was pretty complete though. You think absolutely. It's like you with we fell 1 inning short. So we're going to be, everybody still looks at it like no one will ever forget.
No.
Just like Braden, he got hurt.
I say that
no
now,
one will
but
ever forget
I'm going to look back on this in probably a year or two, and I'm going to be like, Matt, now I can actually sit here and be like, wow.
But you got your eyes on one thing right now.
Yeah.
And it's not even a question.
Yeah. I
don't ever want to go through that feeling again. I want to be able to lift that trophy up at the end of the year and be like, all right, now we can celebrate the real thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's my main goal, and I think that's every person whoever joins college baseball or whoever has played a sport even. I think you can attest to this too. Like, you have one goal in mind. We lost that game, and I got back on the bus. I was like, this ain't happening ever again. Mm-hmm. We're going to be back, and we're going to win the whole damn thing. Like, let's start working on this now. Mm-hmm. And then obviously we went through a few weird stretch of a week, and then now we're back. And
tell you what. Everyone that's ever played baseball that makes it through, either quits in Little League or goes through high school or college, whatever, everybody wants to rob a home run in the World Series.
Yeah.
Tell me, when you were a little kid, you weren't.
That was
crazy.
That was actually unbelievable.
Take us just through that before we go.
I got a terrible read on that ball.
Did you really?
Like, off the bat,
not
a good read, and then I finally recorrected myself, and I take a peek down at the fence, and I'm like, okay, I'm here. Like, I have nowhere to go now. So and I look back up, and I'm like, all right, you just jump up and pray. And I made the catch, threw it in, went a little crazy out in the outfield. I like to show my emotions. Yeah. I do. I love to play with emotion. So that was awesome. And then, but the one against Tennessee where I absolutely smacked the wall, I started laughing at myself. I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, it's cool once. It would have been cool twice, but that doesn't really happen often. So I was like, oh, well.
Well, the Tennessee guy, too. I mean, he
that guy, dude, that whole outfield, man.
Oh,
And I'm so glad. I think people in Atlanta have seen, did you see how their fan base was?
That was awesome.
All behind us. I want to give credit to that whole team. They were unbelievable. They were unbelievable to play against. They were all cool. They loved to talk on the field. They loved to get to know each other. It was a really, really cool experience to play them. And I don't think I've gotten to say it yet, but I just want to congratulate them too, because that was an unbelievable year that they had and an unbelievable thing that they did. So
I got to see some of y'all talking to some of them.
Me too, even on the TV.
Even
during.
Even Burke. Yeah. After we lost and everything, and that dude's supposed to be partying. That dude's supposed to be going crazy, and all I hear is him yell my name. He comes to the line. He's like, Chase, I love you. And I was like, love you, buddy. Like, thank you.
Awesome.
And he was like, and we talk still. It's a really cool thing that college baseball does for not only the game, but for the people that play it. Like, you meet people on other teams that, I mean, I'll probably be friends with them for the rest of my life. And Christian Moore, Sema. I mean, you meet people throughout this game that they leave lifelong impacts that it's just, I won't ever forget that moment, because it's like he took time out of his own celebration to come and be like, hey, like, great job. Like, this was awesome.
Dude, that was in Allie years, like 25 years of doing this.
Whoa. We're not there yet.
That was the best, like, sporting event to watch.
Yeah.
And a lot of that had to do with Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know, the way y'all matched up to them, and our two fan bases, like when Omaha, I thought about this in Hoover when we were playing them, and I was watching y'all in that game, because I went up there and was watching. I go, man, this is definitely the best team I've seen A&M play this year, and they've played some really good ones. And then I was getting tired of his walk-up song, the Heartache Medication. I was like, dude, this dude, every time that song plays, he's just raking.
Boom. Every time he came up, dude, I was sitting in the outfit, and I was like, all right, I'll take a few steps back and just see what happens. I mean, it was fun, dude.
But I'm sitting there, and I'm going, when the field came out, and we're in the 3 seed, and they're the one I go, okay, perfect. Like, knowing that that's the team most equipped to, to me, it was A&M and Tennessee. And I was like, I want it to be Tennessee. Because if you guys are going to win a national title, I wanted you to go through them.
Yep.
And man, we didn't get the result, but damn if it wasn't everything it was built up to.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they play with a fire that's always lit. It's a really cool thing to watch, and I feel like it was the same with us. I feel like those were legitimately the best two teams in the nation, and put up some of the best games that you could see and want in a College World Series final. I was blessed to be a part of that. I thank God for that. I think there's time that you have to give praise to your Lord and Savior for putting you in really good positions in life. Even though it didn't work out how we wanted it to, He still put us in a very, very unbelievable position and let us play in front of, there was 26,000 people there to watch every game. It's an unbelievable thing to be a part of, and you got to give thanks to your Lord and Savior. And He, nobody's perfect. There's been one perfect man on this earth, and He died on a cross. So it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. And I have to really give you a lot of credit too, because I think that each year as an athlete, you learn, you grow, and you develop in your performance. But not only that, as a person. 100%. And I think in every way that you have talked about what this season was and what has come after has been very mature. And even with what Billy said, there's not many 20-year-olds who can sit here and speak the way that you have. And so I want to give you credit for that.
I'll tell you what I did want, though. I wanted, maybe the biggest reason I wanted to win, I wanted Morgan Wallen to have to write a freaking song about it.
Oh, my gosh.
What, like
a loss.
The 24 bowls or something?
Yeah.
Just something crazy like that? Yeah, that would be cool. Now he's going to write about them winning. Hey, it's probably going to be a really good song. Good for them.
He robbed the cat. He robbed the home run, and I robbed the goal.
Yeah, just something crazy.
I went home with the 12th man. That'd
be awesome. Dude, hey, dude, we all need to go on Twitter or something and ask him to write a song. I just want to hear what it sounds like, to be honest. Like, I don't know. That'd be
he
pretty
probably
cool.
will.
Yeah.
Probably
will.
Has to, man.
Yeah. It could be a song for motivation next year. It's okay.
Exactly. We'll just listen to it before every game. Just sit there.
Yeah,
just
your
give
walkout song.
Say 17 years broke my heart.
That'd be hilarious. I make that my walk-up song. Is that what you said? Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
That'd be so funny. All right,
no
time to get to
players
Twitter.
had a Morgan walk-up song.
We've got to.
And Kent did, right? So.
Yeah, so your turn.
I'll probably just stick with the money.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it.
Shane McMahon.
Gotta do it.
Perfect.
Yeah, all don't change what works.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Well, I tried at the beginning of the year, started off terrible, so I was like, all right, let's go back to it.
If one person needed to change their walk-up song, like if you could control it and change one, whose would you change?
Dude, Shot, I love you, man, but I think I love your No. Hang on. I love your walk-up song, man.
But go ahead.
But I think that he could have something that would just make people just, all right, this guy's all. Like, obviously that song was cool.
I just think it fit.
I loved it. It did fit him so much, but I just want to see him throw a little spice in there. Not even like, I just want to see something crazy. Like, that's like.
Maybe he does it for like.
But he said in his interview, he said he's not changing it.
No, I'm saying maybe one game he does it just to shake Jace
spice
up.
things.
Spice something up, yeah.
Well, Jace, thank you so much for joining us today and just sharing all the things that you've learned, grown from, and been able to experience, because you really have so much ahead of you on the field, off the field, and it's been great to hear from you. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on it. Yeah. I know what today meant for you, and we're glad to be a part of it. You know that.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Texas Aggies United on TexAgs, sponsored by the 12th Man Foundation. We will see you on the next one.